self-improvement, right?
Yeah.
Where do you want to start with it?
Well, you have to start at the base, really, which is the mindset. I think we were talking about this yesterday. And a lot of things for me always come back to the gym mindset, which is that when you first go to the gym, you ain't got a clue what you're doing. You ain't got a clue about reps. You ain't got a clue about body fat. You ain't got a clue about what you need to be eating. It's all a brand new journey, isn't it?
Facts.
Same as if you're going to start a new business venture, or you're going to start a new journey in somewhere. You ain't got a clue what you're doing. You have to learn the basics first and be disciplined to continue doing it on a long-term basis, to build that discipline to actually learn the skill. Because I think what people get very confused with is that they think that skill just comes naturally. Natural skill is a thing, but 9 times out of 10, it's something that's practiced and worked hard at every single fucking day.
Yeah, and it's like that's it. And like a lot of people don't see it, obviously. You know, they'll just go, "Oh, fair play." Like, you just got a bit lucky though, didn't they?
Overnight success, and
yeah,
but you never see the 6 months
nah.
of work, or the 10 years of work that someone's done. Drake, I think, talks about it in an interview, and he's talking about people would always assume that he's just like, or not assume, or they think he just like blew up and come out of nowhere. But then when you look back and you see how many albums your man's put out, and how many lyrics,
how different they were as well.
Exactly, and that's it. And it's all about the journey, and of seeing where you were at and where you're at now, and that kind of progress that he's made, and the maturing in his music, you can tell, and it shows. Same as when you started the gym fucking however long ago. You never fucking clue what you were doing. Do you know what I mean?
That's true. It's funny actually when you say that, because I look back and I think, like, what was I doing? So I remember when I first started, me and Fish used to go, and you know, like a lat pull down.
Yeah.
Like, so we used to go on this lat pull down, right? And we'd put our arms like in it like that. And we'd squeeze it down. We'd go, yeah, it's a biceps. This is a biceps. And we were doing this for, bro, I swear to God, we were doing this for about 3 months, right? This was what and we'd be like, we'd load the whole thing up. We'd load the whole stack up and just be going and be like, we need more weight on this. Like, what we're going to do? Do you know what I mean? And this geezer come up to us like a couple of months out and was like, oh, like, bro, like, you're doing it wrong.
I'm right that though. I love man like that in the gym that'll come up to you and be like, yo, like, sorry to like intrude, boys.
Yeah. Like, and obviously, like, he goes, put your hands there. And we had it on like this full stack, and I just ended up like hanging off it. Do you know what I mean? Because I couldn't be going
the whole weight bar.
Literally. I could have literally just done pull-ups on it. It was that heavy. I swear to God. And it's mad though, to be honest, because I think like it's the same with anything, obviously, but I just think like so like what I want to say is like, so for me with the gym, I've obviously been doing it since, you know, when was that? I was probably like 15 or something. Yeah. What's kept me so curious to keep going and keep going? I'm 26 now, 11 years, right? What's kept me turning up every day to come back and get better at it?
What has?
Passion.
There you go.
So it's the same thing with anything else you do.
Do you think, though, a passion is a driving force in creating success? Or do you think,
it's got to be, hasn't it? Because I don't think you can be successful at anything if you're not interested in it. Because a lot of people will say, and I'll talk about this a bit later, but a lot of people go, don't do what you like. They say, do something else. So that might be, you know, someone going from like a GCSE to an A level. They say, don't do stuff that you like. You might like to do PE or sport or photography. They'll say, no, you need to go and do this, this, and this. And then they almost like suck it out of you early. They say like, you shouldn't be doing this, this, and this. And that was kind of my mindset as well. I've always been into fitness, but I never thought I could make it into a career, right? So I was going, okay, what do I need to do to get away from fitness? I need to go into a 9 to 5, because that's what your parents are telling you, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So you're going, well, you know, like, they've got a house, they've got this, they've got that, they've got a nice car. So, you know, I need to go into a 9 to 5 and I need to get into that lifestyle. And that's where they get you.
Yeah.
And that's not the system, that's your parents. But obviously the system have got
your parents. Yeah. So it's it's like we were saying the other day, and it's a big cycle life is, especially with families. This is one thing I've worked out. And when you see these quotes of like, I'm going to be the one to break the generational curse, I'm going to be the first millionaire in my family, like, you really have to take that mentality. And like we were saying on the consistency and the discipline, and I'll get back to the passion in a sec, but it really is a cycle that, unless you've got, you know, millionaire aunties or uncles or grandma, granddad, and you've been able to stay in that cycle of wealth, then you're in the cycle of the 9 to 5 and the middle class and the lower class. And like you said, your parents they do the same stuff because their parents told them to do that. And then what you have to think is, as time has gone on, we've advanced technological wise, and as human beings and just our society in general. But back then, it was even there was no kind of distractions for anything. So think how we've kept the same educational system from the 40s till 2023. So when you think about the distractions there were back in the 40s or the 50s or the 60s, it was very minimal. There was not a lot of stuff going on that you could have actually that could have maybe swayed you to become a millionaire, unless you were in that kind of clique or you knew someone or again, you had the mentality and you're like, oh, I'm passionate about this. I know this guy that's in there. I'm going to go and talk to him. There wasn't any of that. It was just do the system. It was go to college, go to university, get a job, work until you hit your grave, and then make sure you teach your kids follow the same routine so that they don't get fucked up and they don't get caught out. It's this fear machine and this propaganda. Like, we'll get into a lot more of the realism shit. But I think coming back to the passion real quick, I think I'm 50-50 on the passion now, because I think, are you passionate about making money?
I was passionate about making money, but that's not real. Being passionate about money isn't a real thing. It's non-existent, right? You're passionate about things. I guess money is an external factor.
It is.
Money is the
it's a promise note at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Money's not a real thing. You've got to go and do something, and like money's just the addition that you get to it. And that's why so many people fall into the trap when they go, oh, okay, so let's just let's think of like a 9 to 5. What's the first thing I'm going to think of that makes money? I'm going to go into finance. I don't enjoy finance, but I'm going to make a lot of money. But is the time that I'm spending from that 9 to 5 or 9 to 7 or all the outside hours I've got at work doing that job, is it going to be worth it from the money that I'm getting? I don't think it is. So when you're younger, I always used to hear when I was younger, you got to do what you love. You got to do what you love. Yeah. And I used to go, no, that's bollocks. You got to do what makes the money. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's weird. It's weird. Like as you grow older, you go, you know what? I could happily say now, I'd much prefer to earn 50k for myself than earn 100k for a boss.
And I think what a lot of people forget is that, you might be earning 50k, but then the tax man's got to come in. Then your bills have got to come in. Then life's got to come in. So really, you're getting 50k, but really, after the tax man's touched you, you're getting 38, 36, like 25, like you're getting a big chunk. Once life's come out, you're probably down to about 20, the car payments, the mortgage and whatnot, and you're down to about 18, 20k a year, 25k a year. How is anyone supposed to live on that? But that is the lie that they spin you, that's how you keep yourself safe. But you're not keeping yourself safe, you're just keeping yourself on the borderline, because if, like you said, if the car fucking breaks down, or the oven breaks, or the washing machine fucks up, or I've got to take my son to hospital, then my whole financial structure is fucking destroyed.
And this is exactly, I know we've gone really off topic here, but this is exactly how they get you, because if you've got all of that coming out, and you want to go create a business, first of all, where's the money coming from? Second of all, you can't leave that business now, because if you leave that business, you lose your house. You haven't got the mortgage payments, you lose your car. So now what have you got? You've got nothing.
Nothing. You're back in their hands. And this is where we're looking to go in the next kind of 5 to 10 years with CBDCs and social monitoring of the same things they've got in China at the moment, social security systems, where basically it's monitoring and tracking everything that you're doing, every action that you make, where you're going, who you're interacting with, what you're spending your money on, how you're spending it, depending on if you're a mom or a parent. Like if you go into the shop and buying cigarettes instead of nappies, it's going to reflect negatively on your social score. And then this is all happening. This is all happening in real time in China now. Like this is in the system in China. And they'll plaster people's faces up in the cinema. Like all the people that have got low social scores, they'll put you on the boards in the cinema so everyone knows who you are, knows not to serve you, knows not to bring you into the job. So all they're doing is, the goal is exactly what we were just saying, which is you'll own nothing and you'll be happy about it. You won't own your car, you won't own your money, you won't own your house, everything will be the government's, and you're going to be happy about that because you're just about surviving.
Just about. That is wild. That is, yeah. I remember you saying another one as well. I remember you told me these two things at the same time. So you've spoken about the CBDC. I always go to say CBDCs. CBBs or whatever it is.
CBBs.
And another thing that you told me on that was that trial that we're running in Oxford as well. The traffic light,
the zones.
Sorry, not the traffic light system, like the zones. So
zone system, basically.
You can only go if you live in zone 1. You can only stay in zone 1. Yeah. And it just reminded me, talking of being trapped that's the thing with the electric cars as well. They can just switch them off.
Well, we've had this conversation a few times in it about Teslas and whatnot, and I've said, like, fucking, we all love a Tesla. They're fucking bangers, aren't they? But at the end of the day, not only are the parts very niche, straight from Tesla, like it's a lot of money if something breaks down, or the tire or the alloy or whatever it is, and you have to get that specific, or even something more intricate like a fucking brake light or something, it has to come directly from Tesla. So this is already one way of controlling you, bless you, and having you under their regime alone. And again, it sounds very fucking, but the bigger picture again of coming outside the tinfoil hat is that if it's an electric car and it runs on electricity, can the government not turn your electric off in your house?
I can do it like that.
If you don't pay your bill, then they're not come and take away your belongings. They're not turn off your bills. Like, they're gonna, if you don't pay for your car, or you've been spending on the wrong stuff, or you've got a criminal, you've done something criminal, or you've not paid a bill or something, then they'll just turn off your car until you've paid it. Where do you think you're going? Stay in your house.
Yeah, it's wild.
And when we get to that level of like being held down, bro, it's like, it's not. It's hard to even fucking fathom it, because it seems like, how are they going to fucking control us? How are they going to fucking keep us in our houses?
We've got a perfect example of that.
COVID-19.
Yeah.
This is it, man. And I was watching something on it last night, and I think we have to call it the virus. I think we have to call it. Otherwise it'll get, that'll be on to us. Yeah. But you have to call it the virus or the, something. But anyway, prime example when people like to think how really think back now. I need everyone listening to think back. We were in our houses, scared to leave our own home, to engage with anyone in the fucking public, or our family members, children, grandparents, in fear of killing them. Not only that, there's a pandemic of fucking toilet roll. You can't even get bog roll to wipe your ass. Then on top of that, the government are having parties behind your back. Like, we were literally in a year of like pure control and being scared for our minds, and now it's all forgotten. It's like the world's normal again. Like,
you see someone. I was walking down the street the other day, and I saw a guy in a mask, and I was like, "What's he doing? That's weird." Do you remember when that was just a normal thing?
That was a normal thing. If you didn't have a mask,
we used to go out, and I used to be like, "Oh,
Sim, put a mask on, man." And I'd be like, "Fuck off, Ed." You'd be like, "Come on, man, please, just put the mask on," and it like, don't make a scene, and it just kind of just put the mask on. It's not to be like, it's not because you were brainwashed. I think even you knew, like, what is your opinion? Do you think at the time when it all came out, do you think you had that kind of skeptical mindset, or did you kind of just believe it?
I believed it. No, I believed it wholeheartedly, but I didn't believe in the, I can't go and see my friend for a walk, that kind of stuff. Because there was a point, remember, where you couldn't actually exercise outside.
No, you couldn't.
You're stuck in your house.
Yeah.
And, it put me in awkward situations, but obviously, I'm my own person, I should decide on my own what I'm doing. But I'd get a friend call me, they go, "Do you want to go for a walk?" And I'll be saying no, because at the time when you're living in your family household,
you don't want to infect everyone. You can't. And because then you're looked at like the bastard in your own house. You're like, you selfish prick.
Yeah, you went outside.
And you're not listening to the news, you selfish bastard.
You walked outside.
You went outside the confinements of your own house into the freedom of the outside environment. You selfish bastard. Now we're all going to die because of you.
Wild.
How fucking wild is that?
Their own parties.
Fucking drinking it up, close contact, getting a wine and that. Nah, taking a piss, man. It is a joke. So yeah, when we talk about this, this long-term plan, don't think we're just fucking on some tinfoil hat shit. Like, it's already going on in China. You can research CBDC. You can research social credit scoring. I think that's what it's called. I might have called it something else earlier, but it's the social credit score. And they're literally judging people based on their engagements and how they're living and what they're doing. And it's the most critical and severe form of control. Because I'll give you an example. As most people probably know me as the retired roadman. How are you going to buy weed? When all your money and every transaction, anyone who knows about crypto knows that it's on an open ledger, the blockchain, anyone can see any transaction on the blockchain, no matter how much, who you are, it's there. Visible. I can find it. If I can see your transaction, I can see where your wallet is, how much money's in your wallet, everything. I can see how much money is it. So if you was to send me your Ethereum address now, I'll be able to put it into Etherscan, and it would show me how much money is in your wallet. So no one can tax shit. If anyone's like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
balling and this, I'm like, send me your wallet.
No way.
Send me your wallet. Let's see how balling you are. Yeah. So anyway, coming away from that, anyway, everyone knows that it's an open ledger inside the blockchain. So when they convert the money and they take away paper money, cash money, and again, maybe some people don't use cash. They just kind of but again, think about it. A lot of people are already using digital money.
Yeah, yeah.
It's how they slowly get you used to it. So they take away the cash money. You can't pay your dealer in cash anymore. Everything that goes into his bank is monitored and shown on an open ledger for absolutely everyone to see. Yeah, okay, you could say it was for a different amount. You could say it for some goods or whatever, whatnot. But essentially, when the crackdowns come and they're checking every single transaction on that open ledger, which the government are going to do, they're going to want to know what you're sending, what you're buying, and who's sending what, and why is there a consistent amount for 120 every couple of hours or something. Like, drug dealers are fucked.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to use paper money anywhere. So, these are the things we have to think about kind of going forward, because it's fucking scary, man. It's things you have to kind of open your mind up to.
I think when you look back at 2020 though, and transitioning from like 2020 to 21, I think that was the thing that changed a lot of people's mindsets. It definitely was for me. Like,
that was the big wake up for a lot of people.
It was, and not even in the sense that I've got my tin hat on, my tinfoil hat, like you say, but I just mean in the sense that, so you told me something within in that period of where we were, confined to our own homes.
Yeah.
And it was a sunny day, and I was listening to you out the garden. I was watching you. I was on the phone to you, and I was looking out of my bedroom window into the garden. It was a sunny day, and you said, "Have you heard of TikTok?"
Yeah.
Right. And I said, I don't really know what that is. And you said, look, download it. So I downloaded it, and I'm trying to get a grip with it, and I don't understand it right. You said to me, go out in your garden and post fitness stuff, post anything, post tips.
I remember.
Provide value, anything. Show someone how to do a push-up, show someone how to do a squat, make a home workout, for God's sake, do anything.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, like, I don't really understand why. And at this point, I'm not creating content. I'm not comfy behind the camera. I don't like the way I look.
Yeah.
Why am I going to go and do this?
Yeah.
And I never did it.
Yeah.
Right. But look at that for a trend now.
Oh my God. Like, if you would have done that,
who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Literally, because in that time of COVID as well was such a primitive time to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's at home. They need things that they can't get at the shop. If you've got an e-commerce store, if you've got a valuable what's what I'm looking for, a service that's going to provide value to people that need it, it's a necessity at that point. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it would have been a big one. But another one for COVID as well, another one that everyone forgets, that I forgot about, that I'd listened to last night. What did Sweden do in the pandemic?
I don't know.
Didn't do a damn thing. They never once had a lockdown.
No lockdown. Everyone carries on.
Everyone lived a normal life. Tate went over to Sweden while it was all going down. And I knew this anyway. It's nothing to do with Tate. Tate was just there, and he can vouch that he was there. Anyway, I knew this at the time. I was like, why is Sweden not locked down? Like, I remember thinking the whole time.
I remember you talking about this. I didn't think it was Sweden. I thought it was someone else. New Zealand. That's who it was, I think.
I think New Zealand or Australia, or what, like an Aussie country. I think it was New Zealand as well. Yeah, I think you're right. New Zealand and Sweden, maybe we're wrong, quote us on this, but Sweden, 1,000,000% never had a single lockdown. Everyone was outside, no masks. So what, just the pandemic just swallowed the whole of the earth, left Sweden out there. Had to.
Why?
I don't know. Scandinavians, I guess.
Strange, isn't it?
It's weird, isn't it? Weird coincidence. And then now, like we say, and now, there's so many layers to it. I don't know if people have seen these, and I don't want to take over this whole fucking part with COVID, but it's a good one.
I know.
The virus, sorry. But these provisor people that have been caught out in interviews by like undercover journalists that have caught them lacking, and they've caught them sat down at a table. There was one homosexual guy that worked for provisor that had gone out on a date with this other guy, and he's telling them basically, we had to we had to do certain things and change certain strains to make a new something. You get me? Like, once the first one, people weren't really feeling that one, and it weren't really working too well. We had to step it up, and because then there was the next gen of it all, weren't there? So
got to get that.
Oh yeah, there was these people who were in these companies. Again, I was watching the Luke Battle. I watched the Luke Battle, Mark. Fucking man, I think it's about an hour and a half, and I think I'm about 50 minutes into it. So I think I've got about 40 minutes left of it. But Luke's talking about it. I've lost my point. Where was I going with Luke? Luke was talking about Shit, what was I saying?
You're literally talking about where it was going, obviously, with the multiple, vaccinations.
Oh yeah. Shit. Oh, Luke was back dropping dimes. That's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's like it's made my mind go blank because of how many bangers he was dropping.
No,
You
I
weren't
know,
wrong.
I
You
know,
were
yeah,
like,
I know,
you
I
did
know.
say it's like he
Those
was dropping
shorts
so
didn't
many
do it
bangers.
justice. Like the shorts that Mike Thurston put up on his podcasting, they didn't
Oh,
do it
not
justice.
even close.
Nah.
Not
Yeah,
even close.
was-
Yeah, if you get a chance, people watch Luke Baumann. What's his name?
Mike Thurston.
Mike Thurston. He dropped some bangers, absolute bangers.
So some of that I was going to ask you actually, before we went down the rabbit hole.
It's always bound to
I know.
happen.
You mentioned obviously Luke Belmar. You mentioned obviously the blockchain and all that kind of stuff. So you've obviously been doing crypto for the last probably 2 years now.
2.5,
probably.
yeah.
2.5 years, almost 3 years, right? So leading back to the passionate question, and do you need to have passion in something you're going to do to be successful or to be rich, right? You had no prior experience to crypto, right? So
Yes.
were you passionate about it, and like why did you go for crypto? What made you go for that?
It's a fucking good story, actually. It's actually a bagger question. So thinking back, I remember in my earliest days in crypto, I was doing my door-to-door in it.
Yeah.
And when I don't want to give too much backstory and waffle on, but when COVID was, it's funny, when the virus was around and we were all in the house, I was like, right, I need to find a way to make money, basically, innit? I need to find a way to make money. So I started researching stocks.
Yeah.
So stocks was the first thing I started researching because we got into stocks at the same time. You get me? It was around the same kind of time.
Yeah.
It was a little bit after this. But anyway, stocks, Warren Buffett. I started researching how to make money at home and whatnot. And I started getting into this mindset, learning about like manifestation and all this kind of stuff. So I started thinking to myself, and I'll get round to it. I was thinking to myself, like, I need to manifest like a job. Like, I was working out how am I going to get money? Obviously, I need a job. Obviously, COVID's going on right now. Blah blah blah. So, anyway, I'd basically manifested this job. Funny enough, I was thinking about I need a job, and this guy reached out. I ended up getting a job doing door to door. Now these guys are all kind of clued up that they're already kind of in the crypto game.
Yeah.
So he started telling me about a few cryptos and talking about Bitcoin and Cardano and XRP and a couple of other coins when they were really fucking early on. Like I think XRP was like fucking 10 cents or like 5 cents or something, and Cardano was pennies as well. I think they had 2 zeros at the time. I don't think they were a cent yet. But so they started kind of getting me into it. So as I started making money doing door to door, I started putting a little bit of that money into crypto and it, just seeing what would happen in it. And I think Shiba was one of my first ones, Bitcoin, Doge, and I bought a bit of XRP and a bit of Cardano, probably a couple of a little old school layer 2 coins as well. So really there wasn't an original passion for it, but I think the passion came when I'd wake up in the morning and the first thing I'd do was check my Binance, check my crypto, and my 50 quid's at 58 quid, at 62 quid.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing my money just go up. And I'm like, this is mad. Like,
it's not real.
It's not real. And then like after 2 days, my 50 quid was 150 quid because Shiba was starting to run. So I was like, what the fuck? I've just 3x my dough in fucking 2 days. Like, what the fuck's happening? So that's when it started to I started to really fucking look into it then and started to pay attention. I was always watching it, and it become like an obsession with me then. Once you kind of see you're doing nothing and money's going up, it's like it mesmerizes you. So I guess that was kind of the thing. And even though I had no kind of so at the start I was really winging it, just throwing money in coins and just listening to Keith and just hoping that I just fucking something would happen and it was working. But again, eventually, I made quite a big hit on Shiba and Doge, and it made quite a nice little bag on Shiba and Doge, and I ended up leaving I started thinking to myself, obviously I'm nice now, you get me, I don't need to be doing no door to door. Niski's not promoting me. I was getting a bit ego. The ego was filling up. You get me? I was a crypto boy now. We're up on the internet cash. So I was like, fuck this. I'm leaving this job. Yeah, I'm going to go full time into crypto. I thought it's early. Like no one really knows about it. The more I post on Instagram, people are popping up to me. So I could just see in it. And I'm not stupid. So I could see people had the interest. It was making me money. I was free to do what I wanted for a while. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna go in on it, start learning about the blockchain, and then just kind of watched a lot of videos on TikTok because my algorithm had already kind of adjusted to crypto and stuff, and then just kind of just dove into the rabbit hole, and it just started learning about candle patterns, learning about what is a blockchain, what is crypto, just the basics in it. And then eventually you learn more. The more people you speak to, the deeper you get. It's just like we said earlier, coming back to the gym, the more you do something, the better you get at it. Do you know what I'm saying?
So obviously you've been doing the crypto for a while, but you had no prior experience in crypto. You had, what was, like, there must have been like some like gap in the market. Were you lucky, or were you waiting for something? Like, how did you get in at that exact time when all these coins were just coming out that no one's heard of?
Yeah.
What they say with people now is like, if you hear about crypto, if your nan's talking about crypto,
it's too late.
Your taxi
it's
driver's talking about crypto,
yeah,
it's too late.
Yeah. Sell everything and don't buy a thing.
Yeah. You probably told me about crypto, and I thought you were talking Japanese. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, I guess the thing was that it was just new, innit? It was something new, and it just made sense to me, bro. Like, it just made sense. Like, we'd already done stocks a little bit before, innit? And like I say, like, the stocks was the start of it. So kind of I was just like, GME, the boys know about Joe. We'll get into GME one day, boys. Fucking hell. But tell me again, what was your actual question? So I had no prior experience in it, so like,
was it just a lucky break that you got into?
Lucky break,
yeah. Because
I would say,
you've done well in it. Do you know what I mean?
I would say I'd say my first break was definitely luck. Like, I got in at the right time. Like, there was only a small niche of people talking about it, so I got in at the left curve, like, before it had fucking blew up in it. So again, yeah, just lucky timing. But as I'd learned more, and as I'd really got interested in it, I started positioning myself in positions and watching the charts and really getting consistent in market analysis, so I could actually see where my money could actually be made in it and where money's getting lost. So I think to start with, pure luck in it, but over time.
You say that though, you say pure luck, right? But you still had to go out and research it to get to that point. 100,000 million people have already passed that point, and then they've looked at it after. Do you know what I mean?
A lot of people in crypto don't have a fucking clue what they're doing still.
That's what I mean.
They ain't got a clue.
You're saying pure luck, but like, I've seen you go through, 10, 20 good, serious ventures before crypto. Yeah. You say it's luck, but those other 20 have failed, and it comes back to what we were saying earlier. All you see is the overnight success.
Mm-hmm.
When you were up and you're living in town, you've got your own place, and people before that knew you was like you'd had a lot of money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's got his own apartment in the jewelry quarter, just
doing up holidays, and
bringing girls back from Sweden. Bringing girls back from Sweden. What?
Yeah, it was. Life turned around mad quick, and I guess this again, like you say, it's a culmination of events, and it's a consistency in never failing. And the only reason why Michael Jordan is the best basketball player to ever touch the fucking ball is because no one talks about the shots that he missed, because he tried to make so many, and the ones that he made are all the ones that people talk about because he actually went for the shot. Yeah. If you don't take the shot, you'll never even fail or win. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's the same thing we said. It's like going to the gym. If you don't start, like, you'll never be able to say that you failed. And that's what I think a lot of people do. They already talk themselves out of something and think they failed and overthink something before they even actually do the action. So by the time they come to even wanting to do it or go to do it, they've already psyched themselves out of it.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is, to be fair. Yeah, that is a good point, actually. So
it's mental, man.
Stuff like that though. I don't think your crypto. Well, no, it did. I was going to say your crypto stuff. It didn't really require like a daily routine, did it?
Nah. Early trading life was fucking.
You just chilling,
wake up whenever you want. And basically, I was living on the American time zone.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So like, it is a daily routine because you're having to stay up all night to watch the coins, because I'm guessing they're all American, aren't they?
Well, the coins are all always moving, but the most volume goes through probably in China and America. Europe's a small market. It's probably maybe just as big, or probably a bit smaller, but the main volume comes in American time zones and Chinese time zones, because they're just bigger countries and there's more people involved.
Makes sense, yeah. But I just feel like as well, I think from watching you do the crypto stuff from like 2 years ago, and your pattern then to compare to what your pattern's like now,
fucking hell,
completely different person.
Yeah.
What does your daily routine look like now?
Now, I've just started getting back into the routine, and we've had a nice little reset. So I'd say, being totally honest, the routine at the moment until tomorrow has been wake up around anywhere between 8 and 10, probably go to bed between 11 and 2. Wake up, and it was just looking at charts all day. I wake up, go have a shower, brush my teeth, obviously, make some breakfast, and just look at the charts all day. Be on Twitter, just like consuming information all day, like researching what's going on and where the plays are and Bitcoin ordinals and this, that, and the other. I just be locked into the laptop basically all day until I go to sleep, and then wake up, repeat. But the new routine is obviously going to be, I'm going to wake up, brush my teeth, have a shower, do a workout in the morning, meditate, read, get my main things done, make some water. I've been trying to drink my water. I've been fucking lacking on my water. I used to be on it hard. And then just fucking build my shit, kind of build myself back up, get the agency back up and running.
Yeah, definitely.
Stay into the laptop. A lot of content ideas and just fucking making it happen, bro.
And that's it. Because I think like this is obviously something that I was alluding to that I wanted to touch on, because the discipline that we had at the start of this year, bro, was just unrivaled.
What time are you getting up?
Just after you, 5:45. Sorry, 4:45. 4:45.
What was your morning routine like when we was in January?
Oh, bro, it was wild. It was actually wild. So literally, I'd wake up, and sometimes I'd see. This is where I've lost it now, because I'd look at two things. I'd go, what do I fancy in the morning? Do I want to do my 10 pages, or do I want to meditate? My phone's off at this point. My alarm goes off, right, and that's it. My phone's gone. My phone's off. Then I'm up. Do you know what I mean? There's no social media. There's no nothing. I get up. I meditate 15 to 20 minutes, right?
No social
and I
media.
think meditation. I think it's one of those things that now that I'm not in it and I haven't done it for 4 months, probably, I'm going to sit there tomorrow and go, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I can't do anything. This is just a load of crap at it, basically. And I've done it loads of times. Like you just sit there, like you used to say to me, be with your thoughts. And I'm just sitting there going, okay, what should I make for dinner? Do you know what I mean? Like, I never understood it. That's what I thought you meant, like, be with your thoughts. Yeah. And it's not until you do it I think personally, for a month. I'd say you get into it a lot more. Through a month, you'll get into it more after a week. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
I think the first week of it's just the whole, can I sit still and do nothing for 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Because you do it without any guidance. So I do guided meditations, don't I?
Yeah.
So before I was very much like, okay, I've got this woman going, okay, you're hearing the waves, you're hearing this, calm down and this kind of stuff. But then I was like, I'm being swayed. I'm being swayed to listen to something. So like when she's like, think of the sea, I'm thinking of the sea. The sea isn't what I was going to think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm almost being brainwashed into listening to that. So I thought to myself, right, cool. I'm gonna do what you say and literally just sit there in a quiet room, obviously, because it was so early. Everyone's already asleep. Yeah. So there's no noise, no birds at that point either. It's brilliant. So you're just quiet with your thoughts, right? I used to do it in my bathroom. I used to put my mat out. I used to shut my ensuite. So I'm literally far away. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'd sit there for the first week again. Yeah, it was just nothing. Then after I would say from 7 days to like 30 days or something, you see this mad change of you gone from not just sitting there and unfocused, but then you're really getting into what you want to do. And I feel like you can visualize so much. Visualization is just a mad thing. It's something that I didn't really used to, a lot of people just go, oh, you can't just visualize success. But, another thing,
you fucking have to.
When you're doing it, when you're meditating, I started thinking about what it felt like, what it would feel like to have to do this or to have this, and like
the feelings.
Yeah, the feeling. And God, you just get this warm inside feeling. You're like,
you can feel your heart rate increasing as it's happening.
And you're up at 4:45 and you're already making it happen, and you're thinking,
I'm the man.
I'm gonna get this.
Oh man, it's an unreal feeling, isn't it? That feeling of being up before everyone else. And you know what? I've seen a picture, maybe it was a video, and it's someone in New York, and it's like 4 a.m, and they show the flats, and there's like all the lights are off, bless you, and then they show the top floor apartments, and there's like bare lights spotted on, and it's like that's the difference in mentality, and it is that the people who are working hard are up at 4 a.m, 5 a.m, getting it while you're kipping.
Facts.
Getting it. Like we were saying yesterday, there's men up that are getting it before us, working for the same shit that we're working for. They're getting it, and we ain't getting it. Like
you can't be
outworked.
You can't slip.
You can't, and there's a lot of conversation around like men's mental health and you know, like not going overboard and taking breaks. And I think we struggle with this as well. And it is like, where do you find that balance? Because you got man like Goggins in your ear, like, who's going to carry the boats? Who's going to carry the logs?
Yeah, and he's ran like what? What was it? And this is the one thing, I'll let you carry on. This is one thing that we've got to do. Apparently, someone was telling a story, I think it was on Joe Rogan's podcast, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, Goggins had just done a marathon, he was running a marathon. And when he got to the finish line, he just carried on. He just ran, and everyone was like, Goggins, you finished. He just carried on.
I think it's the same geezer. Yeah, he said, I stayed with Goggins, and he'd wake me. He'd creep into my room every morning at 4 a.m. and he'd tap me on the shoulder and he'd wake me up, and my wife would be next to me, and Joe's like, Jesus Christ, like, your wife's next to you? He's like, yeah,
Goggins is in your room.
Yeah, Goggins doesn't give a shit. He's like, he doesn't give a fuck, bro. He's there to get you up. And he'd tap me on the shoulder and be like, it's time to get up, motherfucker.
I know exactly the story you're on about, because this guy, he actually paid for Goggins to come out to him.
Yeah.
And this guy was like a billionaire or something. Or something, right? And he basically wanted to change a lot of things. And he said, Goggins, can you come and live with me? I think it was only for like a week, you know. And he was like, I remember him saying, he was like, it was the most draining week of my life. So when I used to get up, right, this guy had a lake. He had a lake outside his house, right? And Goggins used to say, in you go. So he'd get in, and like, Goggins would be in with him as well, of course.
Of course, it's not very sick, of course.
And there was one time when he went to get out, and he looked like he'd gone, like, he's really blue at this point. He's freezing, and his wife had come out, and she was like, and Goggins had already got out at this point, but he was like, you're staying in, motherfucker. You're working. You need to get that mentality.
Yeah.
So his wife's come out like, David, is this safe? Like, is it? Like,
he's in ice water.
Yeah. What are the physiological benefits at this point now? And he looked at the time to see how long he'd been. He'd go, absolutely none. And that hit me like a truck. Because all it was mental.
Yeah.
The guy just needed to change his mentality.
Get back in the house. Yeah. There's no benefits to this whatsoever.
No benefits.
Mental.
Yeah, it's mad. And I remember, I can't remember what your point was originally, but going back to the. Okay, yeah, go.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, go.
So, yeah, you got the one side where you got Goggins fucking screaming at you like, no days off. Like, fucking run until your feet are broken. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you got, like, reality, which is, like, we've done it. You know what I mean? We've done the 30 days. Obviously not, like, fucking Goggins, but we've done the fucking 30 days waking up, going to bed late and fucking waking up at 4 a.m. and getting it all day. And it's just not sustainable for a long period of time without... And like, it's just like, you got family, you got like relationships, you got like actual stuff that you need to do to like, you can't just be like a robot locked in all the time in it. But like, at the same time, it's like, shit, I kind of do need to be locked in all the time because I need to make it. Like, if there's niggas out there getting it and I'm not getting it, like, I know. I need to get it. Like, so it's a fucking it's a very thin line of how to find the balance of work-life balance, but in a... And what we have to think about is as well, when we're talking about these things, is I talk about it from a perspective where I've got the whole day to do what the fuck I want. People have 9 to 5s. They have to. So imagine you're waking up at 4 and you got 3 hours, 4 hours in the morning to get it before you go to work. But then you've got to get it for 4 hours. Then you've got to go to work for 8 hours. Then you got to come home. And realistically, you know, there's the saying of you can't go to work for someone else for 8 hours, 10 hours. And it's not about living by all these quotes, but they are true to the saying, really, where you can't really go to work for someone for 12 hours and not come home and work on yourself. So like, you come home and then you get it again for the next like 5 hours, and then you have your dinner and you go to bed, and it's like that on a continual basis. Of course, it's going to propel you to an absolutely successful rate, but how sustainable is it for your health, innit?
Well, this is the thing, and like the thing is, I think this is what we're doing differently with this monk mode from tomorrow, because like, this is actually a really good point. So we've put in great foundations. That's what we've done. We haven't put anything wild into this monk mode. Yeah. It's just obviously no alcohol, nothing like that. That's absolutely fine. I'm not saying you need to be sober. I'm just saying things that are really going to impact you. Like, you know, alcohol's not going to do anything for you. You're going to wake up the next day, and obviously you're more likely to make bad decisions and not stick to the habits, obviously. Yeah. But we've done things like that, and then obviously we've done, read half an hour a day. Yeah. Meditate for 20 minutes. And these are all things. Exercise. Water, exercise, cardio, whatever. Meditation. And I think what we were doing before is we were adding in things that, you know, were good. So like, I think these things that we've just spoke about, reading, meditation, they're sustainable. Yeah. You should be sustaining these year round. So I know for a fact, after I'd finished my, I think 30 or 60 days.
Yeah, 60 days.
60 days, wasn't it? After my 60 days, it was like, okay, brilliant. I formed some great habits here, but some of them hadn't been long enough for me to slip into other things. So, and the reason for that is because we're doing so much. We used to tick off we used to have like a habit checklist. Remember, like the notes, and you go. So, I've read this morning. Okay, tick. I've done this. I think because mine was broken down to every last little point of like, take my tablets,
brush my teeth,
do this, do that. It's amazing because obviously
you become a chore.
Yeah, like you look at your day and you wake up and you think,
fucking, I've got to do all that.
Yeah, and I think like, not obviously I'm still going to brush my teeth.
Anyway, but like, that's just a normal thing, and it doesn't need to be put down. Whereas, like you say, now we've got this kind of smallish, nice base foundation of habits to stick at. It's going to be a lot easier. And it's not going to feel as much of a chore and as much as like, oh my god, I've got to do this all again today. And of course, we feel like that. There's going to be days where we're going to feel like that, and there's obviously days where everyone feels that. And you're like, oh, fucking hard. Like I was listening to my man. I keep forgetting his name. The gym geezer.
Mike Thurston.
Mike Thurston. I was listening to Mike talk yesterday, and he's like, you know, like some days I wake up and obviously I don't want to go to the gym, and I'm thinking about the long, fucking excruciating leg day that I'm going to have. I don't want to do it, innit? But like he says, he hasn't missed a day of gym for like 14 years or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Fuck you. Like, hasn't missed a week of gym for 14 years. I was like, that is fuck. And then you wonder why your man's the size he is.
Yeah, and you know what? Yeah,
proof is in the pudding.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly that. And that comes with anything, doesn't it? And like you say, just build some good solid foundations, and you can do anything.
Anything.
You can literally do anything. Like, literally, like, yeah, you can literally do anything. Like with you and the crypto stuff, that's always like my biggest one there, because it's like you've gone from literally having nothing to having a lot,
and not having a paycheck in 2 years, like having a wage from someone in basically 2 years, just working for myself and doing everything myself.
And I think the problem is with that as well. I was thinking about this earlier actually. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear you need foundations and you've got to stick at stuff. Because like you say, so the gym's always a good example, like you say, because obviously you've got to go in and do the same things. You've obviously got to, progressive overload and all that kind of stuff, but you go in and do the exact same movements day in, day out, obviously on a split or whatever. But everyone these days is looking for the next best thing. And I'm not talking about like your fat pills and all that kind of stuff that a lot of people take and your diet facades. But instead of doing like a squat, we're now doing like a glute kickback. And that's absolutely fine, because there's obviously different exercises are going to work on, different parts of the muscles, and you've got to have a mixture of everything. But you might go from that glute kickback and you might go, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. And it just becomes so more advanced than it needs to be.
Yeah.
And like, I like the scientific side of the training. I am not really scientific with it. But sometimes I just think, I need to just go lift some heavy shit. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. And sometimes it is just that simple. And either way, the muscles are going to get like, and I think this is the prime thing of like, there's so many things that you can do that are going to exercise your muscles just from lifting some heavy shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like lifting it in a different way and fucking, but yeah. What do you think the most like misconstrued or like, misconstrued conception within like the gym industry? Like you said, like people always want like a quick this or a quick that. Like, what do you think the most common thing that you see in the kind of gym and personal?
That's what I was going to say, because I was going to probably just touch on what you just said. Time. Too many people advertise now, and don't get me wrong, if you're doing fat loss, you can transform in 12 weeks, 16 weeks, right? So they'll market it, say you can change your physique in 12 weeks, and they can change their physique. But for someone who's looking to build muscle or go into the gym and obviously maintain like your Mike first and that kind of thing, you're not going to get that in 16 weeks. That's years.
Yeah.
But then it just goes up to that point of, you're telling me I've got to go and do the same things day in, day out for years to be successful. Can't I try something else? And this is why businesses fail as well. They have ideas, right? They'll have all of these ideas, but okay, so we've made a social media. Well, I've got a bit bored of that now, and it didn't really go anywhere. Why didn't it go anywhere? You haven't stuck to it. And like, they'll just go on to the next thing then. From social media, they'll go on to crypto. From there, they'll go to stocks. They're not in it long enough. And what's the one thing that they don't do enough? Research.
Yes. Yeah. So, like we were saying yesterday. And it's hard to get into that mindset of like actually researching and looking into topics. And what you have to understand is you did it for fucking 12, 14, 16 years at school about shit you didn't want to learn about. So now you've got the time to learn about shit you can actually just like look into, the stuff that you're actually interested in. And you're not doing it. You're still moaning.
Yeah.
You're a lazy fuck. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
ain't got no motive. You know, like certain people that we know
Yeah.
that say they want to do something, but they live a totally different life.
Yeah, yeah. You'll go home and watch the Netflix, but you won't go home and research something that
Actually,
you're
to read a
interested in.
book or fucking try and actually push yourself forward in any kind of way.
And their mentality on that is, oh, well, I'm not going to be successful from reading that one book on that night. No, you're not going to be. You need to do it as much as you watch Netflix.
Exactly. And I think this is something that like you've noticed as well, like in your own life, is that like instead of like going home and watching Netflix and thinking, oh, like relax. And I guess, you know, we've had some fucking shit go on the pattern. You've been away in to Greece, sorry, and you know, so that you've been trying to get back to normality, but. Yeah, like just sitting at home and like doing things like I was going to put on my story today. I was going to put on my story like if you're still playing PlayStation at your big age, like come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like what are you doing? Like I'm not saying you can't ever play the PlayStation again, but like the fuck you doing, bro? There's so much more time, isn't it? Like there's so much time to do beneficial things and actually learn and actually become the person you want to be. And this is where it comes back to the meditation and having time on your own again. Is most of us don't even imagine what we want to be like, or think or visualize the life we want. So how the fuck are you going to even have a clue about the path to take if you've never visualized the path or the end of the path?
People these days, they don't actually know who they are. You know,
such a great
from such like an early age. You're told what you are.
Yeah,
you're good at this. You're bad at that. You're
yeah,
good at this. You're bad at that. And like even like with I'm not going to go deep into like the education system, but like even on like your GCSEs and stuff, like
that determines
whether you're good at something or not.
Yeah,
there's no other factors. The teachings of the class, the surroundings of the classroom, whether that kind of knowledge is actually, you know, usable in, you know, real life, in real jobs and that kind of thing. Because you might be a mathematician in some, you know, you might use maths every day in your job, but you might have got a D in it at school because it was just a different curriculum on what you actually need.
The amount of people, and I'll put my hands up and vouch for these people, that have definitely lied on their CV about the grades that they've got. And they're still in the job. Like, what? How many people have ever checked your references?
No one. When I first got into a graduate scheme, they didn't even ask me for a degree. Do you know what I mean? It's wild.
It's almost laughable, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So
this
this
is literally just applies to it.
So this is what I'm saying. You can spend your time wisely. You can spend your time fucking wasting it doing fuck all, filling your brain with dopamine in the day, innit?
But you know, a lot of those people who do that stuff, there's obviously two options. You can choose what's right, or you can choose what's easy, right? And I just think people know what they need to do. These people posting, I want to get out of the matrix and get out of the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
They know what they need to do.
Of course they do.
But they don't do it.
They never
it goes
do
back to that reading the book because it's not going to happen in one night.
Instant gratification. Yeah. That's what humans want. They want instant gratification. I want to go to the gym once and I want to be massive. I want to play football once and be messy. I want to read the book and be a genius. I want to start a business with no fucking actual business intelligence and hope that it just takes off.
Yeah. And it all comes back to foundation.
If you haven't got the basis to understand, oh, I need to go out and get an opportunity, or I need to learn, or I need to research.
And you know what? Social media is going this way as well, because the one platform that we've always used growing up, YouTube. You learn everything off YouTube. You know, if you need to know how to do something, in
whatever.
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
But now I've noticed, obviously, I do it myself now. To be honest, like I start putting it into TikTok because it's a quicker platform.
It's a quick search engine.
Yeah,
and it's shorter form content. Yeah, shorter form content.
So, like, how are people? Obviously, you go through TikTok now, and obviously you scroll through 10 videos. And, you know, you've gone through 10 videos in the time that you could have watched one YouTube video, and think about how much more knowledge you might have consumed. Yeah, you might have, but it's only 60 seconds worth. That's instant gratification compared to what you might be going to get on YouTube
or a book.
Yeah, or a book. Yeah, YouTube's a bad example. I just mean because of the duration. But it's wild.
Like I think Luke was saying this yesterday. Like he was saying the exact same thing. Like sometimes you just need to crack the book open.
Just crack
the book open, bro. Like you can learn a lot from a YouTube video. I've learned so much from YouTube. Even examples back in the day, how to do certain animations in Adobe After Effects, how to do something in Photoshop, how to fix my PC, how to solve red ring on my Xbox, you get me? Like how to solve red light on PlayStation. Like there's always a way to learn something, but sometimes you need to go on that deeper level of learning. And when you think about books and the vast knowledge that there is from human beings that have lived and then wrote down their experiences for you to learn from, and you're just like, nah, I'd rather watch YouTube. You're like, how ignorant can you be? And it's always
crazy.
ignorant.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I think another thing on that as well, obviously people trying to, get out of
The
the
Matrix.
matrix, the system,
Yeah.
whoever they are, you want to call it. One thing that people don't do in terms of self-discipline is protect their time, right? So
Time,
I hear
always
people
comes back to
moan
time.
about this too many times. They've gone, I had to go out with so-and-so last night. I can't even stand them. Why'd you go out with them then? I had to. You didn't have to.
You didn't have to. There's a force you,
No.
get you in a headlock,
Yeah.
drag you out the house.
And when you start putting these habits together, you come home from work at 5 and you go to bed at 10. You think, I've got 5 hours. What am I going to do within those 5 hours? You don't need to be watching telly for 5 hours. You know what I mean? Okay, you're going to cook, you're going to shower. Say 3 hours.
Yeah.
You're not going to watch telly. You don't need to watch telly for 3 hours. But because you've not planned your time, they'll just go, just another episode.
Yeah.
Another episode.
Yes.
But the way I always like to think of it is when we've got our habits going and when we've got all these routines and stuff, the way I feel every morning, whether it's a Friday or a Saturday or a Sunday or a Tuesday, whatever it was, I used to feel like every night I was going to bed and waking up early, it was a Sunday evening and I had to be up for school tomorrow. I hated that feeling. I just hated the feeling because like on the night, you want to relax. And I used to put on the Netflix and in the back of my mind, I'd be thinking, I've got to be up at 4:30 in the morning. Like I should not be chilling right now. You know what I mean? And it gets you in that mindset of like that feeling that you're accountable. You've got something to get to.
Get shit done.
Yeah. And obviously, even stuff like if you had like reading and research something or read a book or meditate. If you've got that from 9:30 until 10, and you've got some. So you say you read from 9 till 9:30. You meditate from 9:30 till 10. That last hour's freed up now. So you've only got 2 hours to watch telly. So putting in them habits has already just filled up an hour. People just don't know what to do with their time. They're just dead.
I was reading my book earlier. I was reading 48 Laws of Power earlier, and set my timer for an hour. Put my phone down because I was ready to lock in. I fucking love reading, man. I just love it. Like I miss reading. I just love reading. So I'm locked in now. And I'm just reading for ages, and I'm like, this hour feels like it's gone so slow, but I'm learning so much in this time. But if I was on my phone, just on Twitter and TikTok and Reels, this hour would have gone like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's mad the time, like how time changes when you're doing things that are actually beneficial to yourself. Like time almost slows down. It does different things. I feel like sometimes it speeds up when you're locked in, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, fucking hell, where's the time gone?
Yeah.
But sometimes I feel like when I'm reading, it's mad, bro. Like time just slows the fuck down. And I was like, damn, I've only been reading for like 40 minutes. I was like, this is so good. Like reading for, I'm like, I can't wait to read for an hour again tomorrow. And there's nothing stopping me from reading for half an hour tonight. Yeah. It's good, man. Setting habits is fucking essential. I'm telling you, young men, set them habits, man.
Yeah, it's true. And I think what I'm going to just say on that, like a lot of people would, when you were just saying that about the books, they'd go, 40 minutes, this is so long.
So long.
I don't want to be doing this. Like, not a lot of people in our generation now read.
No.
It's wild. But I think what I was going to say as well, going back to the social media stuff, we're talking about obviously like short form content and obviously the gratification of it and stuff. It's made a lot of money though, hasn't it? It's made a lot of people dough. So like, is it bad?
It's a good question. It's good and bad, really, isn't it? I think when you look at social media over the last 15 years, it's hard to even to fucking put a pin on it, to be honest, because there's a lot of fucking negatives about it, but there's also so many fucking positives that have come out of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, look how we've got businesses, we've got it's a tough one,
It's hard. So like overall, do you reckon it has had more of a positive effect on people or a negative effect over the last, 15 years? Going back to MySpace, Vivo or Bebo or whatever it was called, Kick, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram.
I think it's had a positive impact overall, to be honest. The amount of opportunity that there is now because of the internet and because of social media, like anyone can literally become a fucking influencer. Yeah. Anyone can literally become rich and make 10 grand a month. It's so easy to make 10 grand a month. And it's funny us saying it and not making 10 grand a month.
Yeah.
But like, it really is like life happens and of course, fucking things go on. But I think overall, the opportunities that have come from social media have been more vast than I'd say opportunities in the before social
Yeah,
media.
yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
1,000,000%. Think
you
of all
had
the
to be
people
in
in
the
jobs, like you say.
yeah, you had to be in the right place or meet the right person. But now it's like you could just message someone on Instagram and fingers crossed. Like, look at me, Gary V, follow me because of a picture I sent him off my finger like that.
Yeah.
And he said, "You got me," like that. So, what do you think though?
It's a hard one because I think when you think of social media today, right, everyone just goes mental health. That's all they think of, mental health, and I'll push that straight on you.
Yeah.
Social media is bad.
Yeah.
I hear it all the time. So like my instant thought that's not my opinion of it, but I just thought I know a lot of people are going to say
the general
mental
consensus.
health. So I was trying to work out how many people have had depression, anxiety, all these things off social media in comparison to the businesses that have been created, the solo jobs that have been created, all the online coaches out there, anything like that. Just anything, just any of like those influencer kind of things. And I'd say a positive. I reckon there's been more people who have had, like you say, jobs, opportunities, money made than the people who have lost their lives to social media.
Oh, I would say most definitely. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say, I mean, I have a very black and white opinion on certain things.
Here he goes.
But I think, for me, it's very simple. Like, if someone's bullying you online, just close the laptop, turn off the fucking phone, like, go outside, like, go touch some grass. Like, why are you letting people's opinions that you don't even know on the internet? Which, again, if you have any understanding of the internet, me, obviously, now, as a 27-year-old man can say this, but maybe it's naive of me to think this way, but I'd like to say a lot of teenagers are fucking into some fucked up shit on the internet, so they definitely know the kind of attitude that a lot of people and anonymous people use on the internet. Like, Twitter is my go-to social media app. The amount of trolling that happens on, like, you have to just, like, we used to use the word trolling when we were little and that, and it used to be like, just trolling and whatnot. But like, it's a real thing. Like, people just go online to troll people. Like, they don't have any intention of having a good conversation or an argument. They just want to troll you. They just want to take the piss out of you. They just want to be satirical. They don't care. They just don't care. So to go onto the internet and be so blasé, like, everyone must be so nice here. I can't believe people say bad things and then not just go, wow,
I'm back in the real world.
I'm back in the real world. That person's opinion doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
You just go touch some grass. I'm saying, like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So the mental health stuff with online bullying and that, I don't really have a lot of sympathy for. I think if someone's bullying you online, go offline and it, like, it's pretty simple. Like, and I get, in schools that there's obviously, again, I'm talking in a general. A lot of times when I'm speaking, I'm talking in generality as well. We can't start going into every sub niche. Like, of course, there's kids that get bullied online and when they go to school and they can't fucking escape the stuff. But there is a way. Like, talk to the teacher. And again, the teachers are fucking shit. So there's always going to be an argument back for the things I'm going to say. But the overall thesis is, if you're being bullied online by people you don't know, turn the laptop off.
Simple.
It's pretty simple. You know what I mean? Turn the PlayStation off. But I think there is a lot of negatives that come with social media as well. Of course, we can't ignore the vast negatives that do come with it. There's a lot of fucked up shit on the internet that probably fucks people up in the head. Like, if you see, a school shooting at 14 years old, you're probably going to be a bit fucked in the head. You know what I mean? It's probably going to traumatize you a little bit. And I remember being like 15, and I remember watching, like, some fucked up shit. I don't even know if I can say it on YouTube, but some fucked up videos of, like, people getting, like, killed on camera on webcam and, like,
that kind of stuff. I thought you were going to say, like, blue waffle or something.
Oh yeah, we had that was the start for me. You know what I'm saying? We went deep into the black, the dark internet and that. You know what I'm saying? But man, there was some fucked up shit that went on back in the day. I can't lie, especially on.
It's changed a lot now, social media, hasn't it? Really, I think I think for these people who are coming up now, what is it, Generation Z, the young people now?
I don't know. I always get fucking confused with all these generations.
I can't remember. I think we
Generation Z compromises people. No, we're Generation Z.
Oh, sorry, Gen
96.
X. Gen X.
Gen X, is that it?
Generation X, yeah.
Gen X. Nah, Gen X between 41 and 56.
Oh,
way out.
Gen Z. No, we're not Gen Zs, are we?
What are the 7 different generations? Here we go.
Go on.
Gen Alpha from 2013. So from 95 until 2012, it says Generation Z. And then from 23, so there's no 96. Am I a millennial?
Yeah,
we millennials?
we're millennials. So what I was trying to say is what generation are you in if you are 20 years of age? So here it says, oh right, okay, so it says Gen Z, so 1997 to
They all
2012.
say different things.
Yeah,
This one says 96, another one said 95.
yeah, 96, 97, and then obviously before that we're millennials. So I might just fall on the border of Gen Z. But I'm talking about the people who are like, so yeah, current age is 11 to 26.
Yeah.
So I'm not talking about like my end of it, but the more people probably towards that like 18, 19, 20. Do you not feel like now? I don't know whether it's because they've grown up on social media, right? But they're becoming really successful really early compared to the generation that we had. And like I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and we're saying a lot of people are these like young guys now. There probably are a lot of them as well, but not a lot of them are still drinking and doing all these like weird, funny shit outside. They're just getting like e-commerce stores at like 17. You know what I mean?
How big of a percentage do you think that is in young men though, from the ages you said?
Yeah, in that younger, I don't know.
I'd say there's definitely.
It seems
I agree
more,
with your point.
yeah.
I definitely agree that there's way more from when we were that age. Yeah, no, that's the point you were making. So yeah, I agree with that definitely. I feel like when we were younger, obviously, like you say, social media wasn't even fucking. We had Facebook and MySpace and Bebo and YouTube, but
No
like,
one was making a career out of it.
Yeah, no one was really doing anything with it. And really, the only kind of avenue we saw was like Twitch, and at those times it was just in TV.
Gaming,
Do you remember it was just in TV before
it
Twitch?
was.
Yeah, but it was just in TV. And obviously YouTube and and we did the little YouTube, but we never really thought we were gonna be like big off it because it was like videos and stuff.
Fun, though,
yeah, it was fun to do, innit? But now there's like actual opportunities to like be like 15 and get yourself inside like someone's course and raw make dough.
Yeah, it's wild. I wonder whether if we'd have carried on something like that, like with the gaming and stuff, do you think you'd have eventually been successful?
I think if we would have doubled and tripled down.
Yeah, it was just half-hearted, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had school and that. Like, if we weren't really the sickest. Like, there were some sick kids.
We were okay.
We were good. But we weren't. Like,
you were good. I was all right. You were good. You were decent. You were.
But yeah,
I think it was just that belief we had. No, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was the drive.
Like, we could go to the top on this.
Oh yeah,
we
were doing FaZe clan challenges and that in the clan tags and that.
Yeah. I don't know.
What else you got for me?
I don't know. I was just
how much we got left?
Not too much, to be fair. I was going to just go back to the point on the social media and stuff, the TikTok, and obviously for people who are like kind of creating followers now, there obviously are a lot of people who have got who've got a lot of followers. But what I've seen now is obviously I've got a load of people on my Instagram who are trying to do it. You can see them trying to do it, but their quality, their content's all right, but they're posting. It doesn't look that good. Like, what would you say is going to be the formula for like your Instagrams, your TikToks, and all that kind of stuff to blow up on socials? Because you've obviously had a load of followers recently.
I think trial and error is a big one. And again, like you said, someone who's just fucking constantly loading. I think after a certain amount of time of uploading, if you're not seeing any kind of growth or progress, then you obviously need to look at something that you're doing inside of either the editing or the content or the quality or how you're putting it across or whatever the content is. So it's just about really self-analyzing your stuff. Like, you can't really say you've tried, like we were saying earlier, you can't say you've tried until you've done at least 30 days or something. So do for the first days, upload constantly and figure out what you're interested in it and what you think your following is interested in. So one thing I did was I would like ask polls on my story and stuff. So I'd like ask certain questions. I'd put out like certain opinions and kind of get the feel for it. I'd ask people questions, and then you have to hope that people join in on it. And I think it is actually really hard to be a social media influencer unless you really have that kind of personality that's kind of extrovert. I think if you're an introvert, you're going to find it really hard to be a social media influencer, which is probably common sense. But I don't think it stops you at all. I think if you believe, and sometimes there's a saying, it's not like you fake it till you make it, but you believe it until it manifests, basically,
Yeah.
innit?
Yeah.
And you have to kind of do that through life. So yeah, I think again, trial and error, just realizing what you're good at and what your niche is, or what you want to be your niche, and then like directing your market to that, and just going out and getting the opportunities, commenting on people's pages, commenting on a bunch of reels, DMing people saying you like their content, following a bunch of people that are inside your niche, so that when you upload, it kind of goes into that same kind of category of people. But yeah, uploading constantly. If you're not seeing results, then you need to obviously look at the content you're making and see what's not working. But I think overall, it's just it's a long game, isn't it? Like we said, people think it's an overnight success. And even if I do it for 30, 60, 90 days and nothing happens, who knows? Maybe on the 92nd day, you're going to blow up, but you just fucking gave up. So it's tough, man. It's tough. But if you really want to do it, and it's something we really want to do, you know what I'm saying? We've always kind of been doing this YouTube. And if you look back at my videos, I filmed someone the other day on YouTube, man, where I'm like, it was my there's a few, bro. There's the Cool Beans video where I go and fill the glass up and turn the Xbox on and do a 360. Yeah. There's the FIFA videos, your reaction where you get Neymar.
Yeah.
Neymar.
Those are
There's me doing like Road to Glory, and I'm like 13, like, hey guys, like it's Road to Glory, these black idiots aren't running fast enough, trying to be like KSI and that. Like, it's so funny. But we've always been like this, man. So I think if you're naturally good at it and you naturally can kind of do these things, and again, this kind of comes back to you, because you weren't naturally good in front of the camera. It's something you've had to learn and adapt to, and just by doing it more, you've got better at it.
And you get there. Yeah. And I think that's it, really. I think focus on what you can focus on, really. I think the problem is with people on social media now, they're so worked up about getting a following or getting a certain amount of likes and that kind of thing. Those are all external factors that you can't control. Right? Yeah. Somebody else has got to like your post. You can't do that. You've just got to focus on putting the best quality of content out there, haven't you?
And it's almost on a deep level as well. Like, you have to be proud of the shit you're putting out, and like, you want to, like, I think Luke said this yesterday about his subscribers and how he took the vision of YouTube, and instead of like taking his YouTube and like growing it, yeah, he imagined making it the best quality content for his base and followers. Already. So when you do that, you're already making the best quality content because they're your fans, your people. So you already want to put the best quality content. Anyone that sees it and becomes a new fan, it just becomes part of that experience. Yeah. So instead of reaching out, it's reaching in, and people are reaching in. It's a good strategy, to be honest.
Should leave it there.
I think it's a banger.
That's a good ending, that is.
Yeah.
Sweet.
The boy.